how many? 6 million players in Starfield? Okay, we gotta make sure everyone knows how to create a really awesome character then. What's up, folks? Tony Hannity's here, the Xbox Master Trainer for Expert Zone here in the United States, and let's talk about character creation in Starfield. Because while the game is amazing, I've been loving the game, been putting a lot of hours into this game, some of the basis of how the game is going to play really does depend on how you start your character. So let's go ahead and jump right in. With your physical appearance, this matters the least because you can always change your physical appearance later on. There are a couple of shops or stores or salons, I don't know what you would call them, but there's a convenience center, if you will, where you can pay a fee to change how you look in the game. So if you don't like how you came across the first time and you want to add some facial hair or give yourself some earrings or make your nose bigger and your eyes like big anime eyes, you could do that later on. You don't have to worry about doing that right out of the gate. What you cannot change, however, are your backgrounds and your traits. So your background, I love this. I love backgrounds because it gives another layer, another sense of nuance to your character. You're not just a guy that's walking around Starfield in the game. And no, your character might be, a pilgrim or a pirate. My character is more of an explorer. So just that, and with that kind of very small paragraph of a backstory just lends to more creativity that goes on in your mind and how you want to play this out. And it does give your character some starting skills. And we'll get to the skills in just a second. But the last thing, in addition to the backgrounds, are traits. So you can't change your background and you cannot change your traits. So this is where it matters most of what 3 traits that you are selecting. I recommend that you select some traits that will add some more fun to the game, right? Because the game's supposed to be fun. There are some traits in there that will, buff or debuff your character. For example, if you get the trait Terra Firma, you will have much better ability to breathe while you're on land, which is great because there's a lot of times that I'm jumping around and I lose my oxygen levels. But by taking that slot of Terra Firma, you're also kind of taking away from some of the other traits that add so much cool value to the game that just makes your gameplay that much more enjoyable. For example, Hero Worshipper. Hero Worshipper. I can't say that word. Oh, it's not even worshiper, it's worshipped. Hero worshipped. Got it. Apparently, this guy is from Oblivion, and he's from a different game that Bethesda has created, and it just kind of carries on that character's, proclivity to worship you as the all-lovable hero. If you can deal with him, and you've probably seen him in the ads and other marketing, it's kind of a cool little perk there. You get a new crew member without you having to do anything. You don't have to pay him to do anything, and he gives you gifts every once in a while. That's it. Sometimes you have to interact with them, but it's worth it. Why not? The other trait that I really do like is Wanted. Now, Wanted basically makes all the mercenaries just come find you because you have a bounty on your head now, and you have to shoot all the mercenaries. And for a game that you can kind of get into a rut of just going from planet, surveying, that's grinding. That can take a little bit out of you, but adding some ships to combat you. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands right now, but these are ships flying in to combat you and shoot at you, and you got to, destroy them or take over their ship. That's so cool. That just adds some extra, I didn't know that's going to happen, spontaneity in the game. Just so much fun. And the last trait to consider are your faction traits, like the Neon Street Rat or the UC Colonies, Freestar Collective. These traits will add another option in dialogue that pertains to your faction, and you get to see how that plays out. So if you're a Neon Street Rat and you're on Neon talking to someone else in the faction or in the gang or whatever, you're more likely to probably get along with them. Whereas if you're not, you're probably gonna knock heads, if you will. Plus, choosing these factions and finishing those factions' missions, you'll get better rewards. So we've covered your physical appearance, your background, and your traits. How do you improve upon that as the game moves forward? It's the skill tree. The skill tree is more like 4 or 5 different branches. You've got everything from combat to social, science to tech, and there's a lot in there that you want to build up, and each skill actually has its own level up system. For example, with ballistics, you start off with a 10% buff on any damage that you inflict, but if you level up your ballistic skill, you can get up to 30% of your buff. So those upgrades are very, very important, but there are a few other skills that I think are very needed, and you need to know about this, and one of them is the shipbuilding skill. You might think you might be able to just go in and start building ships right away. That's not the case. You actually do need to level up your shipbuilding knowledge, and upon doing that, you'll be able to do more than just upgrade your ship. You can start adding different modules to your ship, but you need to have that shipbuilding skill. So just know when you're starting off in the game, you might not even be able to create a new ship until you get enough skill points to unlock the shipbuilding skill set. But once you do, the world is your oyster. Well, at least the space is your starfield. Well, how's it go? We're all into the starfield. Yeah, that one. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave that in the comment section down below. Links, as always, can be found in the description below. We're also on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and many, many other places. And if you want to watch us live, we stream on YouTube and over on Twitch. So until the next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Later. I'm going to go Starfield now. Bye.